So here we are, the last mission of the Georgian War. Is this going to be some giant free-for-all battle between Russia and the US in their little pseudo-war? Nope, we're just leaving. So, last mission. It looks like it's going to be a little less anticlimactic than what was expected. So we'll go ahead and get into it. Well, first let's say that we've jumped ahead 5 days. So yeah, 5 days later, after capturing Gori, Russian forces spread out in all directions, pursuing the retreating Georgian troops. The Georgian troops fell back in an orderly manner, though the withdrawal worsened troop morale. By August 12th, Georgian command had gathered most of its regular army and interior ministry forces at Meshketa and Tbilisi, knowing that the chances of stopping the Russian army anywhere else were low. Most of the area south of Gori consists of open plain and scattered hills. The Georgians managed to withdraw and hide most of their modern tanks, except the 42 lost in the fighting, and their other equipment. There were also reports that Russian helicopters firebombed Borjomi National Park, a natural wildlife reserve southwest of Gori. Though some claim that the Russians were trying to destroy Georgian tanks allegedly hidden in Borjomi, the fires probably started because of flares used by helicopters as a precaution against a possible manpad attack. Earlier that day, just before the ceasefire was announced, a Dutch cameraman and 5 others were killed in a rocket attack. Now, anybody savvy with history, this was an actual event. It was the only foreigner that was killed in this situation. After an investigation, the Dutch Foreign Ministry believes that the destruction was caused by an Iskander SS-26 missile armed with a cluster warhead. Russian authorities dismissed these findings as inconclusive. At 3 p.m. on August 12th, Dmitry Medvedev announced from Moscow that Russia would accept the ceasefire plan brokered by Sarkozy. Russian troops were ordered to halt military activities. Later that day, Sarkozy met with his Russian counterpart and finalized a 6-point agreement, which specified the following: no recourse to the use of force, definitive cessation of hostilities, free access to humanitarian aid, allowing the return of refugees. Georgian military forces must withdraw to their normal bases of encampment. Russian military forces must withdraw to the lines prior to the start of hostilities. While awaiting an internal mechanism, Russian peacekeeping forces will implement additional security measures, which would be for 6 months. Opening international discussions on creating lasting security in Abkhazia and South Ossetia based on the decisions of the UN and the OSCE. While the hostilities have ended, the situation remains unresolved to this day. Abkhazia and South Ossetia have been recognized by Russia and several other states as independent countries, and the civilian EU monitoring mission will continue to monitor the administrative boundary line between the countries and Georgia. Return of both breakaway territories under Georgian control seems highly unlikely. And a little more backstory behind the Russo-Georgian War as current as of to this day. Abkhazia and South Ossetia are still their own independent states within Georgia, and of course Russia decided that they weren't going to follow the 6-point treaty here and have placed Russian bases within these territories against the orders of the ceasefire. So, for our objective, our mission's done here. We're not selling these things. The USAF F-15Cs of the 390th Fighter Squadron will return to the United States now that a ceasefire is signed. A tanker, call sign Texaco, has been dispatched to get them safely to Aviano Air Base, and then for further legs of the flight. The European Union, with France in the lead, has taken responsibility for security in the region and for fulfillment of the 6-point agreement by Georgia and Russia. So, yeah, best way to explain that is, since the ceasefire has completed, Georgia no longer sees a need to purchase the F-15s, especially considering that they're kind of in bad shape right now. So, after all this intense fighting, we are done. Outboard 069 on the 16th current as of 0604. I think there's an extra 0 on there. Should be 0640 local. Alright, so the situation after the ceasefire agreement announced on August 12th, a 6-point plan has been signed by Russia, Georgia, and France. Elements of the 390th Fighter Squadron will cease operations in Georgia and will return to the United States. Friendly forces will be Dodge 1, which would be 4 F-15s for the transfer, and Texaco, the KC-135 for the refuel. Dodge 01 will perform a transfer flight from Kutaisi Air Base to Aviano Air Base in Italy, in formation with Texaco. Of course, being in the Caucasus region, we're not gonna go all the way to Aviano. Commander's intent is to ensure the safe arrival of elements of the 390th Fighter Squadron in Italy. Con-Op Dodge 01 will rendezvous with Texaco over Poti at 20,000 feet and fly information to Aviano Air Base in Italy. Higher command will be Wizard, ROE is to hold fire. Kutaisi Air Base's current home base, there will be no divert base envisaged for this mission. Weapon loadouts are restricted and include purely travel configuration, which will be kind of interesting considering that this briefing up here actually says that we'll be carrying 2 A120s. I guess we'll see about that. Higher command Wizard, Flightly Dodge 11. No AOAC support, won't need it. Texaco will be orbiting Poti. Rejoin at waypoint 2 at 0655. So, we are now done, and we are going to be on our way out of the AO, flying all the way to Aviano Air Base in Italy. So, with that, I would just like to say to all those who have been watching through the series, I hope you enjoyed the entire series as I've been making it. If you notice that some of the missions are missing from the current playlist, that is because they were live streamed. I do plan to go back, edit those, and actually put it into a proper video on the playlist. Keep in mind though, it won't have the nice cinematics, but that way there is the full and complete campaign. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and let's get started.
Dodge 11, Wizard. You will take off and rendezvous with Texaco between waypoint 2 and 3, then follow the tanker on the flight to Aviano. The rest of the crew and equipment will follow in 2 Globemasters in around 1 hour. Thank you all for all of your efforts here. We'll see you in Italy, gentlemen. Wizard out.
Thank you, ma'am. It was always nice to hear you before each mission we flew here. See you in Aviano.
Holding short of active, ready to roll.
Alright, gents. Standard takeoff, flaps extended, full burner. 1/2 F at 120, rotate heavy winds and maintain at 300 knots and a 5-degree climb until everyone's settled, then we'll turn towards waypoint 2. Ready? 2, ready. 3. No question. Good to go. Okay, one's rolling. by the president yesterday was a nice touch, and his English is impeccable. Seemed like a nice guy. If I'm not mistaken, he studied in the States. It was a kind gesture. I'm sure he has a lot on his head now after losing a war. The Georgians never did stand a chance. Still amazed they got themselves dragged into it. And you would just sit and wait while your people are shelled by artillery. Come on, guys. The truth is we don't really know who started it. I bet there'll be scores of politicians and historians who'll be throwing accusations at Saakashvili, the Russians, the separatists, hell, probably even the Martians. Bottom line is we did our job here and helped to save some lives. Mexico, this is Dutch 1 flight approaching the rendezvous point. Dodge 1 Mexico, we have your visual. Continue in radio. Texaco. We should arrive in around 5 hours. Roger, Texaco, thank you. Alright, gentlemen, get comfy and let's enjoy this beautiful sunrise over the Black Sea. Thank you for all you've done here. Dodge 1-1 and out.
Dodge 1-1, this is Wizard. We are witnessing serious escalation of the South Ossetian conflict.
I've heard the news that the situation at the line of contact is getting really tense.
Cold 02, this is Magic. We have you visual. Dodge 1-1, Magic. Situation on the ground is changing fast and we face looks like a full-scale war. Грузинский командный центр Альфа российскому пункту 22. Uncle 3 Buffalo, speaking with Control. Dodge 404, we had contact with 12 Valley. Good hunting? Shit. I don't really like going after kilos. Dodge 4-1, Bravo 4, 033 for 85, Eagles 10, flanking. Roger that. I'll stay in the comms in case you need any moral support. Dodge 4-1, Seagull 1, copy. The ambassador would like to pass his regards, wait 1. Gentlemen, this is Ambassador John Tasby. You've done an outstanding job today. Thank you, sir. Just wanted to say that we all appreciate what you guys are doing. Yes, do what? On the way. Бригерти, вискавшите вас. Твискуло нам. Пол самосуда самите опусе.
Бригерти, дракони დადასტურებულია. შეგიძლია დაბრუნდეთ ბაზარში.
Dodge 1, most flankers